this is Jerrie Dean from Missing Persons of America. We're going to go over the case of missing Vanessa Guillen. She's missing from Fort Hood, Texas. I'll see you in a sec. So Private First Class Vanessa Guillen, she's 20 years old, and she was last seen at 1 p.m. on April 22nd in the parking lot of Regimental Engineer Squadron Headquarters, 3rd Cavalry Regiment in Fort Hood in Killeen, Texas. Now, Killeen, Texas is located north of Austin, about an hour away, and they're close. They're about an hour away from Waco too. And what they found was Guillen's car keys that was left behind, her barracks room key, identification, and her wallet, and they were all found in the armory. Now, the Army has put out a $15,000 reward for information leading to her whereabouts. Now, the Austin American-Statesman reported that Myra Guillen said she communicated with her sister by text and that there was nothing going on. She didn't notice anything suspicious at all. And she said that Vanessa mentioned that she was planning to buy a new car. And when they discovered that Vanessa was missing, they found her car on the base. So as the weeks have dragged on, there's been really no new information about what has happened to Vanessa. There are a lot of theories though, and there's a lot of speculation of what might have happened to her. And one in particular I wanted to go talk to you guys about, and I found it on social media that everybody's bringing this up about a particular church. And the name of the church is Assembly of Prayers, and it's also known as the House of Prayers. Now, why they are bringing this up is that a lot of people, a lot of soldiers are putting down testimonies. There's a website with testimonies about this church and church members and how they're approaching and how aggressive they are. And people are wondering if maybe one of these church members picked up Vanessa, or maybe convinced her to come to the church, and maybe they're holding her at the church, or maybe they've converted her and she's at the church and she does not want to leave it. It's not known. So I wanted to know more about this church, and I thought I would look it up, and then I'm going to tell you guys what I found out about it. So the Assembly of Prayers Christian Church is what it's called, although it goes by House of Prayers too. And there's a Reverend Ronnie Dennis. And Ronnie Dennis also was a pastor over in San Diego, over in the Oceanside area, which would be North San Diego, and in Hinesville, Georgia, and now part of the church in up there in Killeen. Now, there is a website called OPCC.com. And there is a lot of testimonies, and they are the primary, loudest adversary of the Assembly of Prayers. And on their website, they have a mission. So let me read this to you. It says, "It's our mission to inform the public as to the many types of abuse that has been taking place at House of Prayers Christian Church, located in Hinesville, Georgia, 31313. They also have sister churches located around the country, and sometimes go by the name Assembly of Prayer. If you're concerned that a loved one may be mixed up in one of these groups, please contact us and we'll do what we can to have you informed. House of Prayer Christian Church, located in Hinesville, Georgia, and other states, is a cult." Now, there is a lot of testimonies on there, most of them accusing the church of being very aggressive and financial wrongdoings and things like that. I also ran across a news report by Fox 28 regarding a member of the church that worked for DFCS, which is Children's Services, and they used their position at DFCS to report back to the church what was going on with this case involving a child abuse claim against the church. And so she took her position as DFCS, and looked up the case and reported back to the church what the progress was on that case. So she was found to have violated the privacy laws, and from what I gathered, she's no longer working there, but she may still be a member of the church. I'm not sure. There is also another place, it's a Facebook page called the Fallen Fort Hood. And they have been concentrating a lot on Vanessa's case lately, and another individual that has also gone missing. I'll talk about him in a second. And there's a lot of testimonies about the church and how they're approaching the soldiers on the base, and they're being very aggressive, trying to insist that they join the church. Now, one of the people said that, quote, "I've been approached by 3 different individuals at the main exchange twice from the same church. These individuals handed me a business card with the address and a photo of a really nice church on the card. They told me they had nurseries and classes for the kids. I Googled it, and the church looks nothing like what's on the card. I gave them my number to be nice, and I told them I'd give them a thought, but I wasn't sure. They kept calling every day and all the time. Eventually, they stopped." Then there was another poster on that page, and they said, "I had someone from a church show up at my husband's barracks one morning, and they chatted me up, wanting to give me a card, very insistent, even after I said I went to a chapel when I was visiting him." So they were approaching, this is another account of them approaching soldiers at Fort Hood. Now, this is very concerning, not only because of Vanessa's disappearance, but it's concerning to me is how are these church members getting on the base? You got to have a government ID. You got to have a sticker on your card to get on the base. And if you happen to figure out some way to get on the base, you got to, somebody could stop you at any time and want you to show their ID. And if you don't have it, they're going to throw you off. So how are these church members getting on the base? To be at the main exchange? To go into somebody's barracks? This is very unusual. So it either has to be that someone is letting them on the base, or they've got a car possibly that has a sticker on and they're able to go through without anybody checking IDs, or there's somebody at the base that is helping them get on. There is some soldier that's part of the church that's helping them get on. It's about the only way they could possibly be on there. This is really concerning too, because in this day and age, when security is the utmost importance, especially on military bases, and especially on this Fort Hood where they had that incident years ago with the shooting, why these people are let to get on there and they're not stopped and they're not reported and the MPs don't pick them up and take them off of there seems very strange to me. Now, there are a lot more testimonies about the church members approaching people at the HEB and the gas stations, not just on the base. And it appears that this is their standard of operation, that they'll approach you, they'll talk to with you, be very, very friendly, manage to get you to give them their phone number. You give them their phone number, and then they continue to call you and call you and call you and call you until they wear you down and hopefully get you to come to the church or to your left to block their number so they'll leave you alone. Now, I wanted to also see how many soldiers were missing from Fort Hood. So I went to NamUs, and NamUs right now is showing Vanessa as missing from Fort Hood, but they're also showing a Private Gregory Wendell Morales, 24. He went missing on August 20th, 2019. And there's also a Marie Teresa Jerrie. She was 25, and she went missing on October 1992. Although many people are calling this church a cult, and they are very concerned they may have something to do with Vanessa's disappearance. Regardless, there are far too many complaints about the Assembly of Prayers doing underhanded real estate and financial scamming. According to these testimonies, it's not just the aggressive behavior of this church and the fact that they're going on the base. It's also because there is some real estate and financial scamming that people are saying the church is responsible for. And that alone is enough to make people wonder what really is going on over there. To have a whole website dedicated to warn people about this church, then maybe it's better to go find someplace else. And I encourage anybody that wants to know any more to please go over to the website and look at the testimonies there. You can go to the Fallen Fort Hood and you can see even more testimonies there. Vanessa Guillen was last seen wearing a black shirt, light purple leggings, and black shoes. She is 5'3" with light brown eyes and long dark hair. And also, let's not forget Gregory Wendell Morales, 23. He's missing from Fort Hood, Texas too. He was last seen on August 19th, 2019, and he was last seen driving his 2018 Kia Rio. And I just heard in the last couple days that the car was registered, because before it had paper tags. So it's been registered, and that gives them new clues to follow up and see and maybe lead them to where Gregory is, or at least where his car is. So that's it for today, and thank you guys so much for listening.